Hello, it's Polish Paul VR, welcome back to the channel. We are here today to do some more PlayStation VR2 news. We've got some big news for the upcoming Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and trust me, if you're planning on playing this one in virtual reality, it's about to feel a lot more real on your PlayStation VR2, but more on that just in a bit. We also take a look at Sony's newly revealed 3D depth sensor, a piece of tech that could play a major role in future of PlayStation VR. Plus, we finally have release date for highly anticipated and good looking VR, a brand new racing game for PSVR2, fixes for Reach, and also Shadowgate VR is right around the corner, looks like it. But we're starting off today with a quick review of Sweet Surrender, the fast-paced rogue-like shooter that just hit PlayStation VR2. I tell you exactly how it plays, what's working and what is not working. So before I start, if you like what you're seeing, then please like and subscribe. It does help the channel a lot, it helps me stay relevant. Leave a comment, make sure you subscribed, and let's go. We're gonna start from review of Sweet Surrender. The review copy was provided to me by the developer. Sweet Surrender is the latest roguelike first-person shooter to arrive on PlayStation VR2. We've got shitloads of them. This one setting you inside a futuristic mega tower filled with a hostile AI. There is story scattered through the tablets you can find around the levels, but honestly, it's not very engaging and you probably stop reading after the first few, because this game real focus is fast-paced shooting and surviving as long as you can. Right from the start, you met with a well-designed menu packed with tons of options, and the game immediately shows off some excellent PlayStation VR2 haptics. You can choose to begin with tutorial or dive straight into the adventure mode, the core roguelike campaign. As expected, dev sends you back to the beginning, but you can unlock shortcuts to skip early sections and use a handy save and quit feature if you can't finish a run you're currently doing in one go. There's also a daily run mode that offers a fresh challenge and leaderboard every day. Once it's done, it's gone, replaced by a new one the next day. Combined with randomized levels, it adds replayability. Well, at least at first. Visually, the game uses low poly, cel-shaded art style that's cleaned, but I feel like this art style is overused now. Think about it, Borderlands 1 running on low settings on a potato PC. This game is smooth, sharp and well optimized, but it's also visually bland. The developers try to change things up with color and layout differences between the zones, but the simplicity of it all makes everything start to blend together eventually. Enemy variety is decent with plenty of robotic types to shoot at, from small drones to big mechanical ones, and even spider-like bots crawling along floors or ceilings, but their behavior can be inconsistent. Sometimes they'll flank you or rush on you, and other times they will just stand still there shooting at walls or objects in front of them. One ceiling crawling enemy that was a bit of bullet spongy. His kind of hangs from the ceilings, often gets stuck just above the doorways, making it very easy to just, be under the doorways and, just shoot it while he cannot kill you. Anyway, level design mixes smaller, tighter rooms with multi-floor arenas. The smaller ones are where this game really shines, at least for me. They are fast, intense and focused. When the generator decides to bring up larger rooms / maybe areas, maybe arenas, the pacing kind of drops off and it becomes a slow search for the next enemy instead of a non-stop firefight. Combat itself feels solid and there's a good amount of loot, weapons and upgrades to discover. You'll find pistols, shotguns and other things like energy weapons and melee tools. Some melee weapons can block bullets, but they don't feel as satisfying as shooting. Inventory management plays a big role too. Your items are stored on your chest, and while this system works well, it can also be a bit fiddly. If you pick up something you don't want and try to just don't want it and try to drop it to the floor, it can accidentally stick to your chest, replacing something important what you was holding there. Holstering weapons also takes some getting used to. You can store them behind your back for bigger weapons or on your side for your pistols and other shit. And the controller gives a smile vibration when you do, but it's surprisingly easy to drop them by accident. It's not the game breaking maybe, but it can definitely break the flow of a fight when your gun ends up on floor and you end up to reach to your holster and surprise surprise, there is fuck all there, so you know, you can just pretend and using your pew pew fingers to try to shoot, but of course with no weapon, no deaths. Throughout your runs you encounter upgrade stations which act as a small shops. Those can be improved over time using gears, the in-game currency you collect. You use gears to buy items, health and upgrades, which adds a nice layer of progression. At first, the mix of loot, upgrades and random room layouts, unlocking different classes, completing challenges, it all feels exciting. But after a few runs, things start to feel repetitive. There are plenty of drops and even some surprises, but the structure of each run doesn't change much and before long everything starts feeling samey. Still, I have to give the developers real credit for including an unlimited lives mode. This lets you play the game at your own pace and actually finish it without worrying about permadeath. It disables leaderboards and progression, but it is a fantastic accessibility option for those who just want to enjoy the gameplay without the pressure, or those who just don't like roguelikes and just want to complete the game without this roguelike mechanics. So, from a technical standpoint, the developer did an impressive job. The game is polished, well balanced and free from major bugs. Performance is smooth 90 frames per second with great HDR. And the controls feel tight overall. There is definitely fun to be had here if you enjoy grinding through runs, unlocking upgrades, testing builds and unlocking new difficulties and classes and just competing for the top spot on leaderboards. The problem is the timing. Sweet Surrender feels like it arrived on PSVR2 about a year and a half or so too late. The headset already has plenty of roguelike shooters, some better, some worse, some cheaper, some more expensive. For roguelike, I think like this one is on more expensive side though, but anyway. This one just blends into the crowd. It doesn't have a strong hook or standout feature to make it memorable. Sweet Surrender is a competent and well-built roguelike shooter that's fun for a while but struggling to stay interesting long term. Saying that, the developers got roadmap full of new features that gonna be coming in the future, but for now my final score is 6.5 out of 10. It's a polished, balanced and well made, but visually bland and too repetitive to stand out in today's PSVR2 crowded library of roguelikes. So that's my review. Let me know what you're thinking of this game. Now let's move on to the news. And we're gonna start from the new PlayStation VR2 racing games. It's always exciting when you hear that there is a new racing game, but this one is what you see in the background. What the fuck is this? This is Monster House Racing and it's just dropped on PlayStation Store for PSVR2. It's a Halloween themed kart racer set inside a haunted mansion called Grindstone Manor, where you race through ghost-filled corridors and graveyards using spooky cards and characters. You can switch between first-person and third-person views, use power-ups and traps to slow down opponents, and race against friends or AI bots. Strangely enough, on PC this game is about 8 quid, on PSVR2 is 11 quid. So for some reason, if you're on PSVR2, you're paying more. Imagine you going to public toilet to have a shit, and then you go into other public toilet and they saying you can have a shit here, but it's more, because here the shits are bigger. Now, the story number 2. Vertigo Games has just dropped a new gameplay trailer for Thief VR, Legacy of Shadow, confirming it's launching on 4th of December this year on PlayStation VR2. The trailer playing in the background and it looks sexy as fuck. Now, is the as fuck sexy? Tell me what you think about as fucks. Anyway, the trailer shows off plenty of classic Thief gameplay, now fully reimagined for virtual reality. Sneaking through dimly lit corridors, pickpocketing guards, lockpicking with motion controls of course, and using a mix of arrows and stealth tools to stay unseen. You also get a look at the game's glyph vision, which helps uncover hidden paths and secrets. Developed by Vertigo Games, the team behind my really good and the game that I really like, Metro Awakening, and I feel like Metro Awakening doesn't get enough praise as it should, but also Arizona Sunshine, which is pretty neat. They work on it together with Mace Fiori and made with collaboration of course with Eidos Montreal. This marks the long-awaited return of this iconic series to the gaming industry and especially to virtual reality gaming. And if you notice the comments, the flat people who play flat games, we spit off them and also vomit from Monster House Racing, vomit on them that, because they crying a lot that it's only VR. For us, we all happy days. Now, next story. Shadowgate VR, the Mines of Mythlock, just had its PlayStation trophies list go live on the PlayStation server, and that usually means that the PSVR2 release is just around the corner. Originally released on PC VR, this one takes the classic Shadowgate adventure series into virtual reality. For the very first time, you explore the dwarven mines of Mythlock, solving traps and puzzles, wielding elemental magic with your wand and shield, and riding minecarts through ancient ruins, tunnels, all guided by your sarcastic companion Odin the Raven. It's a mix of fantasy adventure, puzzle solving and light combat, and seeing trophies appeared now suggests the PSVR2 version could be dropping soon, because Flat2 VR Studios is involved and there is PSVR2 Day happening very soon on 4th of November on PSVR2 Without Parole channel. I'm thinking we might get it around that time, but that's just my speculations. Next story, a quick update from the Reach for PSVR2 players. The game first big patch has started rolling out, it's already live on Quest and Steam, but the PSVR2 version is running just tiny little whiny bit behind the schedule. The developers confirmed that the PSVR2 patch will arrive tomorrow on October 31st, after just a small delay. It usually is delays on Sony side, I don't know why, I don't know. Anyway, but one day, who cares? Once it goes live, it should fix most of the issues players have been facing since launch. So here is a quick rundown of what's changing for PSVR2. They fix problem with save data being lost. This is like, should have been actually done at the start of the game. If you lose your save, you cannot fix the game, so a fundamental mistake on their part. Also, they improved the deluxe edition content interactions and adding big improvements to stability, visuals and sound. And across all platforms, the update also includes fixes for soft locks and blocked pathways that stop players from progressing, which yet again a fundamental issue that shouldn't be there at launch. So as much as I like Dreams, very poor launch from them, but also they doing visual and gameplay improvements, including patching out those moments where players could fall off the map, plus audio tweaks to prevent disorientating or missing sounds. And on top of that, the team added that two major new features that people really wanted. So you're getting chapter select, so you can replay chapter that you've reached before, and also they add in something what should be from the start as well, multiple save slots, letting you back up or experiment with different runes. So yeah, disappointed with Reach, but hopefully soon with more updates it will be properly fixed. Now, next story, the company, we're gonna talk here about Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is interesting. So, the company AXR, also known as Parts 4 Sims, has announced that their MAAP24 MALE23 and MAAP standard flight controls panels now work with the PlayStation 5 thanks to a brand new beta firmware update. Until now, console players haven't really had proper flight panels like on PC. On PlayStation 5, you will be able to play Flight Simulator using DualSense controller, PlayStation VR2 Sense controllers or T-Flight HOTAS. Those are fine for, for what we need, they're great, but this new XR panels will add an extra level of realism, giving you real knobs, switches and rotary dials for things like autopilot, heading, altitude, throttles, radios and flaps. On PC, even with VR, using motion controllers to grab those tiny switches in the cockpit can be fiddly and awkward at times. That's why those panels, physical panels like that, are such a big deal for the future of PSVR2 version. They will let you control the aircraft with real hardware while you stay fully immersed in your headset. Now, of course, you're gonna have to memorize them because the headset will obstruct your vision a bit, but it's easy to memorize. And also just be careful what knobs and panels you twist in case somebody stands in front of you and you twist their nipples by accident, or God forbid their knobs if somebody got multiple knobs. I don't know, anyone? Let me know. The announcement comes directly from XR official Facebook page and in a post titled Massive Firmware Update XR New Invention 2.0 Beta, if I read it right. They confirmed new profiles for Flight Simulator 2020 and most importantly the one we care about, 2024, improved stability and this brand new PlayStation 5 beta support for all three panels. And this ties in perfectly with the release of Flight Simulator 2024, which launches for PlayStation 5 on December 8th with full PSVR2 support confirmed for 2026 as a free update. For the first time, PlayStation 5 players will be able to step inside the cockpit in virtual reality, and for the first time you'll be able to play Flight Simulator on any PlayStation, anything. And now with this hardware update, actually, making it more real life, physical, it's really gonna be great. As for the pricing, the MAAP standards cost around 75 quid, the MAAP 24 Pro sits around 110-120 quid, and the larger MALI 23 panels sell for roughly 165 quid, which would be around $200. You can get them directly from XR website or from some Singer retailers. Just keep in mind this is a beta firmware, it's not yet officially licensed PlayStation accessory, so you might encounter minor bugs or have to set up key bindings manually. Still, this is the big milestone for PSVR2 Flight Sim fans. It finally brings that full hands-on cockpit experience to PlayStation, and it arrives just in time for the launch, so awesome stuff. Now, another story, before I finish this video, there's something very interesting from Sony and it might tell us a bit about the future of PlayStation VR or whatever VR headset they make in the future. Sony has just shown off a brand new piece of technology called ASDT-1 at a professional event in Frankfurt called InterGeo 2025. It's been described as the world's smallest depth sensor. It's super tiny. It will fit in your headset so nicely. Basically, a tiny device that can measure distance and depth with incredible accuracy. So it uses something called LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging. Think of it like radar, but instead of radio wave, it uses light to scan the environment and build super detailed 3D picture of what's around it. Sony also mentions that they're using 3D DTOF technology, which is just fancy way of saying it measures how long it takes for light to bounce off objects. That's how it knows how far away things are. Right now Sony is showing this sensor mainly for drones and robots, things like mapping, inspection and rescue missions. But the cool part is how this kind of technology could help future VR and AR headset. With sensors like this, Sony could make VR tracking more accurate, improve hand object detection, and make mixed reality pass-through, if they ever do it in future headset, looks much more natural and realistic. So while this is not directly about PSVR2 just yet, it's another strong sign that Sony is still pushing forward in the world of 3D imaging and immersive tech. So let me know what you're thinking of it all. That's it for today. If you like what you're seeing, then please press a like, because it does help the channel a lot. Make sure you subscribe, you're helping me so much by doing so. I super appreciate it. Drop a comment, and that's it. Bye 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 bye.